What's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome to episode 13 of StarChasers, Girls Talk Ball. You know, it's your girl Mickey, aka Craven Cowboys. And you know, as always, I got my girl Stargazer Sports Media, aka Star in the building. What's up, girl? How you doing?
What's up, Mickey? Glad to be here tonight. Hopefully y'all can hear me good in the chat. I'm trying to bring my mic closer because I realize sometimes I don't like the way I be sounding. What's up, JV? How you guys doing? Y'all, tonight, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have Big Bro West in the building with us. I think it's still live on his YouTube, though. So if anybody's in that chat, thank you guys for rocking with us. But we definitely going to try to get, West in next week for sure. Just had some technical issues on his end, but for sure he should be with us next week, guys. But thank you guys so much for being in the chat with us.
Shout out JVB boy, Nisi, sis, as always, one of the first in the building. Always good to see you.
Yep.
James Simpson's in the building. Hey, just good to see everybody. Kelvin Hicks, we see you. Dak Owns Filthy, we see you as well. Hey, just thank everybody for joining us this evening.
Yeah, what's up, J Money? What's up, everybody? Yeah, y'all know we got mad love for y'all. Double R, what's up, bro? What's up, everybody? We glad to have y'all in here tonight. Please be sure to like the video, guys, on both of our pages. Please like the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube if you haven't already, as well as donate to our Cash Apps if y'all feel so kindly to do so. What's up, JC Network, Sports Junkie?
What's good, JC? How you doing? What's up, Sports Junkie? Good to have you in the building, fam. What's up?
Glad to see you guys so much. We got some good content to talk about tonight. About our boys, as we always got, plenty to talk about. So I don't know if we had this on the agenda, but I guess let's just give our general thoughts. On not trading, trading for anybody.
I agree with you, sis. Yeah, just give my quick thoughts right quick. I will admit at first it was. I wouldn't say I was frustrated. Like I was telling you actually before we jump right on here, I was telling you I wasn't really frustrated necessarily with us not making any moves. It was just what really got me, I guess I would say, in my feelings for a little bit, around 4:00 Eastern yesterday. It's when I was, seeing other teams make moves, like, and other NFC contenders. Like, I didn't expect to see the Seahawks make moves. I know it was a couple weeks ago, but I know when they got Frank Clark, I was surprised to see that. I didn't expect the Lions to go out and get another receiver. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect the 49ers really to, kind of beef up the D line. So yeah, so many things, so many things I'm sure not just for me and, for you and other, Cowboys fans, seeing these moves being made, I'm sure, some of them did kind of come out of left field. So like I said, I was more so feeling that just seeing other teams, even seeing teams like we're talking about Seahawks, they got to win this weekend. They still went out, and acquired talent. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the Lions, I think the Lions won this weekend. I was off the top of my head. But I think, with them going through the kind of loss they went to, I think a couple weeks ago to the Ravens, they realized they had, some things they had to fix, on their side. So it's just good, it's good for other organizations and other teams to, go out there and make moves. And, just kind of like we were talking about, we may not necessarily need anybody, but I would have felt, better if we did kind of make a move. But I would just say that I'm not gonna say I feel worse that we didn't, but it did just kind of gets me a little bit to see other organizations make moves.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll be honest, like, and y'all forgive me because I'm trying to look at something and see, looking at the 49ers roster because I want to see
how you doing.
But anyway, so my original thoughts. I think I had put out on Twitter, which is hilarious because I was like, dang, me looking just like you. I'm like, me looking at all these other teams make trades.
Yeah.
And I want to make a move, but I don't even know who to make a move for.
Right.
Because obviously the guys that we wanted, everybody that we threw out, Derrick Henry, Patrick Surtain, Devontae Adams, Courtland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, all of those people that was linked to us, Jalen Johnson, they're still on their teams. So it's not Dallas Cowboys was the only people who, it's not like we lost these people to someone else. Like, obviously, these teams either weren't for really trading these guys or they wanted the world for them, and no NFL team was like, definitely not. So, and there's obviously
I don't mean to cut you off, but a lot of these teams kind of raised the prices on these guys who quote unquote wanted to leave their organization.
They did raise the price. Yeah, they did raise the price. They wanted it, obviously they raised the price because they knew a lot of teams needed stuff. You think teams like the San Francisco 49ers, they really needed, if they really wanted to bolster up their defense, they should have gotten Jalen Johnson, but they couldn't get Jalen Johnson. Right. Why y'all think that is? Like, think about it. But they just settled and threw a third out there for what's his name? Chase Young. What's up, Ant? Glad to see you in the chat tonight.
Yeah, what's good, Ant? How you doing?
We're not gonna take a crap on Chase Young. He's like right now, he's like top 5, I think, in the NFL in pressures.
I think so, yeah.
He's got a lot of sacks. Chase Young is good. We know who Chase Young is. Obviously, the kid been in our division since 2020, I think. So, right. So we know who Chase Young is when healthy. I mean, he's an animal, right? But the key word I said is when healthy. And unfortunately, there's a saying that goes like, hurt guys stay hurt.
Yeah. Like you mentioned offline, like we were talking about with Darren Waller, once again, and he went through that over when he was with the Raiders. That's what he was going through the year, but actually, I think last year.
Yeah. Hurt guys stay hurt. Like, that's just the unfortunate reality. Remember, we thought Christian McCaffrey, we were like, oh man, he got a new wind, it seemed like, because he didn't get hurt last year. Yeah. But guess who's hurt this year? Christian McCaffrey. So
and Deebo Samuel as well. I believe he went through injury last year as well before they hit the playoffs.
Deebo Samuel again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's just what happens when you go out here and you try to get these players. So I think Chase Young is going to help them. Because right now, what's up, Dwayne? Glad to see you.
Hey, Dwayne, how you doing?
Their two ends is Bosa, then they got Eric Armstead, who's kind of trending down.
Yeah.
So you added Randy Gregory, and we know who Randy Gregory is. He's gonna give you about 6 sacks. He's gonna give you a lot of pressures. And then we know with Chase Young, he's gonna give you that production, until he can't. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it helped them out, but I mean, they needed to bolster up that pass rush because their defense has now been exposed, and everybody knows all you have to do is attack those corners all day long. Jordan Addison, a rookie, destroyed them by himself.
Right.
With Kirk Cousins.
and a Cam Akers, who I didn't even know the Vikings picked up during the season.
And Cam Akers on top of that. So then you look at somebody like the Seahawks, which the Seahawks are a pretty good team, right? They just took their division.
Yeah.
But I mean, can you name a pass rusher they have over there? Boye Mafe, I think.
Yeah, Mafe, yeah. And I think they picked up. I think Devin Bush. But I think he's a linebacker. I think they picked him up in the.
Yeah, he's a linebacker, and then you added Frank Clark.
Yeah, I think some of the defense. I know he played them in preseason, but I think some of the defense were rookies that were coming on.
Mm-hmm. They're rookies, and then they felt like the rookies wasn't good enough, so they needed to go get Frank Clark, who's a journeyman, and Leonard Williams. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, like that was people that they needed. It's not like these teams were super teams.
Yeah, they need to pick up these pieces to go on their playoff run because they know
those are glaring holes, like in these roster. Eagles getting Kevin Byard, glaring holes. And the secondary is still terrible because unfortunately you got all pro James Bradbury over there. Yep. And what's his name? Slay, who still can make plays, but clearly has lost his step, clearly. Yeah. So when you talk about the stuff that these teams got, then you got the Lions who got literally like a wide receiver 3 or 4 and Donovan Peoples-Jones. So when you talk about the moves made, you know, like it wasn't any. I said on Twitter that it wasn't going to be no super splash trades, and it wasn't. Like the Commanders tanking now because they just gave away they 2 premium pass rushers. Were like, here's a second and a third. They're like, all right,
and looking like the Lions too. they about down to they rookie quarterback. You know, he was in the last game, so I'm not.
Who you say that? Who you said?
The Giants.
Oh, the Giants. Yeah. So it's like, there was positions. You know, that it's like, oh, we could have gotten this. But the fact of the matter is that all the players that we wanted that was really going to push us over the edge was not available. Right, because
just like we talked about before, like there's levels to these different teams. We need those premium players.
That's the only thing that was going. That's what there was people on. You talk to different content creators, and I'm like, you know, who would you have gotten? They're naming guys that are going to be backups on this roster right now. Right. Backups. They're not coming in and starting. Probably some of them could even be on the practice squad. So it's like. Right. At that point, or why would you make a trade when you have guys that are probably better than those depth pieces in your depth right now?
Right. We haven't even gotten to,
Exactly. Like they haven't even sniffed or gotten to these guys. So it's like we're the only team right now in the NFL. Like, do y'all realize that? Like, I know they keep saying we're not that great in power rankings. We're not the best team in the NFL. It's clearly the Eagles and all of this stuff. But we're the only team in the NFL that 4 out of our 7 games, we're sitting our starters in the 4th quarter. Like, do y'all realize that?
Right.
The only team in the NFL, it's not, and we playing the same opponents that the Eagles are playing, the exact same opponents. Mm-hmm. Are they sitting starters or are they fighting to the nail? They're fighting to the nail. So when you look at things in retrospect, it's like, we could have made a move, but the guys that we wanted, like Sports Junkie, you talking about Henry? No, it wasn't that they didn't want to pay, bro. Henry was not on the block, bro.
Right. Yeah, and Titans changed their mind. Yeah, they changed their mind the last minute. They was never really even shopping Henry. They were just trying to see what people going to ask for him.
Right, like do you see
the same thing with Devontae Adams? Same thing with the Broncos. They never really.
The Raiders straight up ghosted teams.
Right.
The Raiders straight up. The Jets was trying to get Devontae Adams. The Raiders straight up was not picking up the phone yesterday. Like teams was not. When the Broncos beat the Chiefs, they said we're not doing no. We didn't steal a single player. They
said new phone. They said new phone. Who this? After they beat the Chiefs. They said new phone. Who this?
When the Titans saw what Will Levis did during his NFL debut, I think threw 5 touchdowns.
Right.
They said, no, we're not trading Derrick Henry.
Right.
We're good. We're good.
Right.
Like, think
the
about
Raiders really have no safe. The only saving grace they have is Devontae Adams.
That's it. That's why the Raiders clean house.
Right.
I knew. I said they should have fired Josh McDaniels last year. Before, I don't know why they renewed his contract.
Right.
Because what he did over there was a complete disaster. How you gonna get somebody in here because of their connection with the quarterback, then get rid of the bench the quarterback, then get rid of him? Then you got a worse quarterback who cannot get him the ball.
Right.
Like
who is, by the way, injury prone, who went out because of injury again. So now you're turning your rookie quarterback.
They didn't even know if Jimmy was even going to play for them because he was injured in the offseason. Like, what a disaster. But you just got to realize, and what's up, Richard? Glad to see you. Like,
how you doing, Richard?
You just got to realize, like, yeah. When you talk about moves to be made, then compare the moves that everybody else made, right? And then you think of it. All we had left was top premium picks, first, second, and third. Now I'm shipping those picks off for Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, for sure.
But he wasn't on the block.
Right.
I'm sitting the second. Not even second for Derrick Henry. He almost 30 years old and that's a running back. But I'll send the third or a fourth or a fifth next year because we don't even have those picks this year. But I'll send the fourth and the fifth next year for Derrick Henry. He wasn't on the block. So to me, that's why personally I was able to calm down because I said, listen, at least the players that I wanted, that I thought was going to push us over the edge, they was not on the block.
Right.
So at that point, you just roll with what you got. Like, yeah, we could have got Chase Young, but we don't need Chase Young.
Yeah.
We could have went and got Randy Gregory, but I didn't want Randy Gregory. Like, we know who Randy Gregory is. Like, I'm good on Randy Gregory. Hopefully he can actually stay on the field over there in the 49ers land. Like,
right.
Randy Gregory is Randy Gregory. We had him on this roster for I don't know how long. And I don't care. Like, people you can say brainwashing or siding with the front. I really don't give a damn. But when it comes to Randy Gregory, like, he wouldn't even be in the NFL if it wasn't for the Cowboys.
Right.
For off the field stuff. And he literally said F you to us for shit that's in everybody else's contract.
I was going to say, yeah. And the reason he felt like he could do that is because he played for the Cowboys. You think he's going to back out of a contract that you had already signed? And then all of a sudden, because some language, you know what?
Like,
I got this over here.
Right. Okay. Like, Randy Gregory doesn't have good character.
Right.
So it's just like, that's just how I feel. And you
Collins too, Lyle Collins.
They don't have good character, bro. Yeah, well, so what the fuck? Why would we bring them back to the culture that we established? For what? Just because we got players that got talent.
Right.
We got depth that got talent. Do we not see Chuma step up? Awesome step up. TJ Bass step up. Brock Hoffman step up. We saw all them guys step up. So why we gotta go and get somebody, bring it back Lyle? Like, no,
right.
no thanks. And like, that's what Mickey and I was talking about as well. We were like, I honestly think, like, when the premium players weren't out there on sale, it's like, do we want to mess with the team chemistry? Because I don't know if y'all watch Sounds on the sideline, but this team is on a whole different level chemistry-wise than it's ever have been.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you want to F that up? People talking about, let's go get a corner. Why? Get a corner and push J. Lou off a cliff? Who just had his best game versus elite talent and Puka Nacua and
right.
Cooper Kupp. The Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua got 64 yards collectively. Mm-hmm. And J. Lou was lined up against them plenty of times in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty. So, like, why would we push him off a cliff? To go get who? To go get what? Like, we just got to think about some stuff. Like, we have top talented players. Like, if J. Lou had gotten shredded versus those two, then it's like, okay, shoot, I don't know. Maybe we should just go empty the clip for Jalen Johnson, but he didn't. So, like, we didn't really need to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, all in all, Y'all can call me brainwashed or whatever. I don't care. But
no, not even brainwashed. Like it makes sense, like you said, and actually a point, that Mike McCarthy kind of brought up. It wasn't necessarily towards the free agency, but he kind of alluded to it when they were talking about the defense, not the defense, but kind of the offense in general, but along the lines of play calling that they have yet. It's still early in the season. We had an early bye week. So they have yet to really reach, like we said, he's yet to get in his bag. They have yet to reach, concepts that they haven't even gotten a chance to see on the field yet.
Correct.
So that goes hand in hand that, some Packers we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen Deuce a lot. We've seen Deuce being inactive. We haven't seen too much of Turpin in the back, but we only seen glimpses of it. So they have yet to really touch on all these packages. A
lot of packages and concepts and stuff that we haven't even got to, because again, what I just said was 4 of our last 7 games have been blowouts. Right. So, and I have the clip, but I don't know if we got time to show it, but the clip of literally saying like that, what I just said, that 4 of our 7 games we was
you talking about that Mike McCarthy clip you posted earlier?
Yeah, 4 of our 7 games we was in 4-minute offense because we literally set our starters at the top of the 4th quarter. And then this Rams game, like he said, you want to know why we changed it? Because he said it's time to open things up, cut Dak loose, and trust your players. But anyway, here's a clip I posted earlier. It's a clip of
taking a step, and it really the offense. Jerry talked about and Dak talked about the offense taking a step, and it really looking like you guys want to look coming out of camp.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I think if you just look at what we've done in the first 6 games, there's a number of things, and just because of the type of games we've been in, half of our games in the first 6 games, the second halves weren't, we're in 4-minute offense in the 4th quarter. So, I mean, frankly, I think it was just more getting to concepts and doing some things we just haven't done yet. So, and really just, cutting Dak loose. I mean, but the ball distribution was, we hit our average. We had 80% of our plays were, rushes or completions. So, I mean, so that part, I think, consistent. Just had the one giveaway, the time of possession, which is important. That was a big emphasis, for us, as part of our complementary football formula. CD had a huge day, but, I do like the way we're spreading the ball around. And, and if you look at play calling as when you throw it, it's more aggressive, then we were more aggressive yesterday.
Was it born out of what you did during the bye week, or learned in the bye week from what you were earlier, or was it more just, again, a natural progression of the offense?
I think it's more confirmation of just say, we need to get going. We need more production from the offense, and I think a big part of that is just trusting your players and opening things up. So, we have a lot of football to play, and I just, conceptually, we got some things we can, still haven't got to yet, but. I think, start to, to me, that first trimester, you show, what you think you want to be coming out of the off season, and then you start getting into variations of those concepts. So I think we're starting to hit that point.
So.
Yeah, like you heard McCarthy saying, it's pretty much common sense. Like, we're so early in the season. We didn't have the starting 5 for O-line, the first couple of games, so he had to pretty much improvise there. So we really haven't had the chance to really see our full offense. Really not even really just the tip of the iceberg.
Right, like in the 49ers, the Rams game was a step, and so that's what I'm hoping and praying, and I'm praying that we continue to build. That's why I said my constellation. If y'all watch my show on Monday. Is that my constellation?
How you doing? Thanks for joining us, man.
Is build, because I want to build. We need to continue to build off of what we've seen. Yeah. And I'm telling y'all right now, and I was just talking to my brother about this. I'm not putting up with the blame game on the front office no more about these targets. Y'all can say whatever the hell y'all want to say. I'm putting it on Mike. If Mike sits there and allows Jerry and them to pressure him not to give CD at least 10 targets a game,
right?
then that's on Mike's head. It's not on Jerry and Steven. Because, and here's why I say this. Because that's what we always want to say. It's Jerry and Steven. That I'm like, Jerry and Steven, specifically Steven and Will McClay, have worked extremely hard building this roster.
Yeah.
So even although they may want certain players to start, they're still spending money on every single player on this roster. They would prefer for all the players to play, and guess who's control of players' playing time? The coaches. That's why I say that. So you can sit there and say, oh, well, he's saying I need to get, we need to make sure we spread the ball around. What did Mike just say? We spread the ball around.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure everybody getting the ball. But you give the ball to your playmaker, and then he opens up everything else. CeeDee Lamb said it, and also Jerry said it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Mike McCarthy pointed out that they started doing it early. So that way, when those defenses are, and not only early in the game itself, but early in the season, and it would have helped if you started early in the season. But you do it early in the season, so that's what these players are looking at on films when they do go against you. Of course, they're going to expect you to go to CD, but when you go to number one receiver, that's what is expected. So they're not going to expect you to go to Ferguson. They're going to expect you to see Ferguson out there taking snaps at the backfield. You got to throw them off. You got to throw them off the scent early. They're already going to expect you to go to CD, but if you're only going to CD, or if you don't go to CD, they're going to take away CD as an option. So then what do you have? You don't have that rapport with the other guys because you didn't build it, because you didn't build the rapport with CD to start with.
Exactly. And that's what CD, you have to make your number one a threat. Mm-hmm. You don't sit there and say, I'm not going to make him a threat. Because when you make him a threat, everybody else does well, and it opens up everybody else. That's why everybody else outside of CeeDee Lamb had a day going 4 for 4, right? 5 or 4 or 5 or whatever. Yeah. Fergie touchdown, Brandon Cooks touchdown. Like, everybody needs to eat, but CD eats first, because when CD eats first, then, like I said, it opens up everybody else. It also opens up. Now, we still did not have our best day on the ground, but I did see, because we were firing. What we're doing now, guys, is we're doing a true West Coast principle, which is you pass the ball to open up the run.
Right.
See, what we ran before under Kellen Moore is Air Coryell, which is you run the ball to open up the pass via play action. Mm-hmm. Right? But we have a combination of that now. But now we realize, like, when you're strong at your strength, the undoubtable or undeniable strength we have on offense is Dak Prescott.
Right.
Like, that is our undeniable strength. I don't care what nobody give a damn, but no one says it is Dak Prescott, right? Then it's CeeDee Lamb. So when you have a quarterback of that caliber, you lead with that, right? See, before we had Zeke, right? Which Dak and Zeke, when Zeke was here, right, at the beginning of the tenure, Dak had to rely on Zeke a lot because he was a young quarterback, right? But as you get more mature and old enough and you advance your game, then it's not like you necessarily need, right? And I'm not saying do away with the run game. Absolutely not. You need a run game, especially going into playoffs. What I'm saying is lean on your strength, right? And right now, when it comes to our running game, Tony Pollard, and how we have to use him, we cannot ground and pound with Tony Pollard.
Right.
And I'm honestly, I'm glad that Mike and them realized that, because us trying to run Tony Pollard, how many times did we say, why are we trying to make Tony Pollard this in between the tackle?
Right, hitting up the wall, going up against the wall many times in the middle.
That makes no sense.
Up the A gap.
That makes zero sense. Tony Pollard, we need to give him, as we said, now he was getting toward the beginning of the season like 20, 25 carries. They've lowered that now, and I said, see, when you lower Tony Pollard's carries, we did a lot of more outside toss plays and zone concepts and stuff in this game, and thus we had success. So anyway,
I brought this slide we're talking about because I want to my boys talking. She also brought Zeke before, and of course we know he was back. You know, he's a cowbell at the time. But, you know, pretty much the most he had it. But now that we're, I mean, like clearly he's not the same type of.
Hold on, Mickey. You kind of breaking up.
Oh, you can't hear me?
I can hear you, but it's like, bro. Okay, let me see if it's stabilized now. Talk now.
Yeah, I was talking about now that we don't have Zeke anymore, we kind of have to.
Okay, yes, good now. Okay, go ahead.
Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, and just the fact that we have a different type of running back with Pollard. We just can't have that same ground and pound running game. Like,
exactly, we can't have that anymore. Like,
listen, now that we kind of have to fit the scheme to kind of fit Pollard's strength. Like I have sitting here, like we know that with Pollard being a change of pace, we kind of have to get him in open space, like you mentioned earlier, with screens or even wheel routes, and just kind of getting blockers out there in front of him. We even saw that when they had the tight ends blocking in front of him. He's able to get the touchdown. He was able to get a big yardage gain on that play, pretty much off the same type of run style earlier in that Giants game. So it's really important that they just, like you said, just in this past game and hopefully going forward, they realize how they have to use Pollard and also Rico too. Like we know that Rico can go up there and even he can kind of shoot the gap too, but it doesn't necessarily mean you got to use him like that. Get him in his space too. Kind of dump off some of them passes too, where he can go into the flats and get those third down.
Right. Which is exactly what Mickey's saying, which is also a principle of like West Coast offense, where it's like your running backs are used as long handoffs, right? So which means like those short passes out of the backfield and stuff like that, which is like a handoff, but you call it a long handoff because I mean you're technically passing the ball, but it's still basically how you would utilize like a run, right? If you have like this dominant ground and pound run game, but we don't have that because we don't have the back, so we have to change the way our philosophy. And I really appreciate that. And I agree with you, Dwayne. He was being misused, but in this game, I didn't see Tony running that much up the middle at all. And when we did, we had passed so much. So when we did try to run up the middle on a draw play, something like that, we got good yardage. And so that's how we've changed our philosophy. And Mike said today, I said we for real changed our philosophy because Clarence asked him. He said, Mike, now you said that like the identity of this team is defense, and Mike was like, "Listen, I don't know if that's exactly what I said."
Right.
But he was like, "Listen, like your team has to grow."
Right.
Mike said this. He said, "Your team has to grow. Your team has to evolve. Mm-hmm. We have to." He said, "Now we still are doing complimentary football." He said, "We're still controlling time of possession, and we are. We're still top of the league in time of possession, like he said, being complimentary so that your defense can rest and all of that stuff." But he said, at the end of the day, we got to score points.
Right.
Because points is what wins games.
Right. Period.
He said that straight up. So I was like, he really took a look. That's what I'm saying. Remember, I kept saying we need to look in the mirror and we need to stop trying to be something that we need to be who we are. And Mike was like, listen, when we look back, we need to be able to put up points.
Right. And not even just being afraid, not even being afraid to be who we are, but also not being afraid to change. Like we could be because we do have a change of personnel. So we have to not
you have to adapt you have to adapt the scheme to the personnel. Yep.
Yeah, and even if so, like even if some people take it to that extreme and say, well, Mike, you said you was gonna run the ball, you said you was gonna do this, you said you was gonna do that. Okay, well, man, look. We 6 games, 7, 8 games to the season. We had the bye week. We had to adjust. This is what we always been talking about, Star. When we look at week, just going down week to week, we asked Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn to adjust, even within games from week to week. So now just seeing that they took the bye week to
they made adjustments. They made adjustments. Period.
Right.
And we have to. We couldn't keep doing what we was trying to do on offense. It was not working. So we got some adjustments here that was made.
Yeah. Like you brought up Star. Like you said, you now finally using CD as a wideout. I'm saying giving him more opportunities than just being in the slot all the time. You get to see his versatility.
Right. Using him X wide receiver because what the thing is when you have your X wide receiver, they're the receiver that's usually off on an island by themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're putting your wide receiver in isolation with the corner, right? Which is better because that's how you can better utilize your number one wide receiver and get him open, right? But when you're constantly locking somebody into the slot, then you can bracket them, right?
Right.
You can do like a two high look or, cover 4 or whatever. You can bracket that player. But when you have that player out, your number one out on the island by themselves, think of like a Des Bryant. Then you can do those go balls.
Yeah.
One-on-ones, right?
And that's what we talk about. I mean, control. That's what we talk about trying to use Brandon Cooks for when we first acquired them. They were talking about that's how they try to use them in training camp.
We're moving all the wide receivers around, but for a while they had just had Gallup locked into that X position. But it's like, bro, just having Gallup locked in there is limiting what our other guys can do. And so that's why we've also what we say, Gallup's reps is now being split with Jalen Tolbert because Tolbert is more versatile. Right. Tolbert was forced to learn all positions, right? Mm-hmm. All wide receiver positions. So Tolbert can do everything that every wide receiver position can do on the field. So that's why we have to cut into it because it's like, listen, this guy's limiting us, and he don't really win Michael Gallup's not really winning one-on-one on the outside.
Right.
He's not. He's supposed to be the guy who can win one-on-one on the outside on the island by himself, but he can't win on the outside.
Yeah, the one who high points them balls and goes up and gets it. But
but he's not doing that anymore. So we have to then say, okay, let's let our number one wide receiver be who he is, which is a versatile player. He can play any position on the field. Mm-hmm. And when we did that, it opened up CD. It also opened up other players because now if CD's out on this island, people are like, oh shoot, this corner may not be fit to cover CD one-on-one. So now I'm gonna have to lean, and Dak was doing it. I'll do it again. He's like, oh, now I'm gonna have to lean over to CD side for help. Okay, you lean on CD side for help, safety. I'm coming right under you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
I feel you. Mm-hmm.
We had to change shit up. Basically, we had to change it up. Ferguson. How many times we kept saying,
love it.
Shotty Hyman, and Shotty said it. He said, we had tried to do that about 2 times, and it was dropped from Schoon and from
I think Hendershot too. I think they tried him in game 1.
Right. We kept saying, why are we doing this with these guys? Put Ferguson in there. We put Ferguson on that seam route. Touchdown.
That's exactly what we talked about, Star. And we exactly talked about that, about putting Ferguson in that position.
Putting Ferguson there. Right. He will go. We literally said that. We said he will go and get that ball. Right. And Schottenheimer literally said Ferg already knew, based on the look, he already knew the ball was coming to him.
Exactly. Right. And he also mentioned that he mentioned that Dak knew it too. And that's what he also talked about, how Dak is building these trust with these guys. And Schottenheimer said it's one thing when Dak can pick it up and read it, but when the receiver can pick it up and read it and he's getting the ball, that's how they connect. That's how they connect.
It's on another level. Like the chemistry here is like, it's almost like, guys, we're just getting started. Like what we saw versus the Rams is like just the tip of the iceberg. Right. We have the personnel. I keep saying we've got the personnel. We have to just implement. It's coming down to the coaches on putting the players in the best position. And I think based on the adjustments that we saw, they're doing that. Talk about the motion, Mickey.
My first. I guess I would say my first time hearing it as far as this week from this past game. I heard Schottenheimer mention in this press conference. He mentioned that when they were off for the bye week, they just took around looking around the league. We see other teams use motion at the line. We see Miami using crazy motion. When I first saw their type of motion at the beginning of the season, I didn't even know what to expect. You know what I'm saying?
It makes me sick.
Yeah, they just do crazy like right before the snap. Like it's
too much motion. I'm
it's
like,
smart.
oh,
Yeah.
motion sickness as much as they move.
Yes, facts. For real, and you kind of see the 49ers kind of use a similar style of motion. I mean, that's where McDaniels came from, but just seeing these different teams. I mean, not even just those two teams. We also see the Eagles kind of implement it. Every now and then. Even if teams don't use it at a high percentage, we still see other teams implement this. And for the Cowboys, I think there was a tweet. I think I have it bookmarked. There was a tweet that said that we had only used, I think, a little bit over 30 times in the first 5-6 weeks. But this past week alone, we used it 18 times, and it's seeing just pretty much the flip of the offense, really.
Right.
Because we have yet to see the offense really crack open. So just be able to see how much influence it had on the offense just this past game.
Yeah, and there's so many new things that were implemented. Shotty had said too in his press conference, he was like, that second touchdown to
CD.
He said that was a new thing. He said we only practiced that 3 times practice. So he was like, for the players to be able to execute that the way they did when we just now implemented it. Like there's so much. And another thing Mike said today was that other players, I forgot who went. I forgot, but he said other players are going to have opportunities this week. Like our other young players are going to have opportunities this week to play. Right?
I heard him. I don't know if he was talking about, because I don't know if this is the same press conference from when he said that, but I know he did mention about the younger players having a chance to play. I don't know if he meant this week or if I heard him say later in the year when he said the young players have a chance to play, because like we mentioned earlier, us having 4 out of 7 games with our starters sitting out, that's when a lot of these young players are able to step up and get in those fourth quarter situations. And like you mentioned, a lot of these teams aren't doing that, so they get a chance to go up against these starters who are still in the game in the fourth quarter. So to be able to get those reps.
Right. But I think also, I forgot what the context of it was, but I do think he said like the young players have opportunity to compete, this weekend and see if they can get on the field. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't get a chance to listen to the one that came out just recently.
Yeah, I think that was from the one today. So I definitely think some of these, we might see some of the players, these packages, because y'all remember like our running back coach and stuff is bad. So we may see some other guys. I mean, we probably gonna try to bring out some different stuff versus Philly, because obviously
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And then you talk about Brandon Cooks, like Mike McCarthy, like that touchdown that was cooked up to Cooks.
Yeah.
He over to Mike in the game was like, hey coach, like I know we do this route, whatever, like it's gonna get open. And the fact that like Mike listened to him and called it, like players, now Mike is really getting close to his players, because now his players can be like, coach, this is what we see on the field, let's do this, let's do that. So like now remember with the clip we just showed you, he said it all comes down, when you want to open up concepts, it comes down to trusting your players. You have to trust your players. You have to trust what they're seeing, what they're saying, and then you have to implement that on the field.
Right. And I agree with you, Star. I think it's a trickle down effect, because I think the trust that McCarthy is putting into Dak is also putting that trust into the receiver. So it's kind of just like a full circle, like.
It's full circle. So it's like, that's why he's like, I lose Dak, because you have to allow Dak to be free. You have to allow Dak. We saw that could be an offensive coordinator right now. Let Dak have full control over this offense, because he's playing at a high level. He's playing Hall of Fame type level on pre and post snap reads, right? Most quarterbacks, they just go off of. See, Dak had to elevate his game, because teams started saying, okay, we can't blitz Dak. Okay, we can't just run base coverage because Dak's gonna eat that up. We can't. Then they try, how they try counter him doing zone, blitzing Dak to death. They say, okay, we're gonna blitz.
Yeah, they say on Girls Talk that Dak was calling up the blitzes at the line.
Yeah, it's like people started trying to blitz. This was a couple of years ago. That's in 2021. They started, okay, we're gonna blitz that. Dak number 1 in the league in blitz. So they're like, that don't work.
Big game. I just saw Big Game's tweet about Dak being number 1 against pressure.
He's number 1 under pressure this year. So it's like they keep trying to, I got you, Dak, and Dak's like, no, you don't. So it's like
about that off camera too. Like he's been having to go through so many mental hurdles, like not just football hurdles, but mental hurdles. They try to confuse him. Like have they forgotten that Dak has a master's? Like Dak is one of the most cerebral quarterbacks in the league.
He is. I'm like, I don't think that there's a quarterback, and I'm not saying he's better than Patrick Mahomes talent wise,
right.
But when it comes to cerebral, I do think there's no quarterback in the league that is playing at the mental level that he's playing. Besides, maybe if Aaron Rodgers was active, I would say Aaron Rodgers would be on that same level. But other than that, there's no one else that's playing on Dak Prescott's level.
Right.
So when you have that, it's like you let that. It's just like the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers, the Peyton Mannings. When you have a Hall of Fame type quarterback, you have to allow them to be that, and you have to allow them to have the control. You have to allow them to have the control because.
All right, that's the same quarterback they mentioned on Girls Talk, and that's I believe that's a quarterback that Dak emulates. You know that Peyton, he mentions several times that Peyton Manning is one of his favorite quarterbacks. He looks up to. He always mentioned that he kind of Reggie never really got a chance to play against him. That's one of the quarterbacks he idolizes.
Yeah, so it's like every time they try to get Dak, he's just elevated his game to the point where like now Dak figured out they try to start confusing him with coverages.
Right.
But Dak knows how to figure out the coverages now. So he's like, oh, I know how to figure out. Y'all trying to get me.
Right.
And then they be trying to bait Dak in the picks and all that stuff. And he'd be like, and sometimes he take a shot, but he's like, I trust my arm, so you thought you was gonna get it, but you didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of quarterback that we have. Like
yeah, and we talking about him, so let me go ahead and bring him up. 25 or 31 this past game, over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Our quarterback, this one interception, and that was a tip pass, by the way.
Tip pass to Sean McEwen, which we probably shouldn't even throw to Sean McEwen.
Right, like first of all,
like why are we even targeting? Why are we targeting?
I'm like, I know we're not throwing McEwen. We got to be throwing to McEwen that way. I know we're not throwing
straight to Sean McEwen. And of course, he bobbled it, but it's all right. I'm not gonna crucify Sean McEwen because
my first thought was like, oh wait, Licky over there. Oh, you going to McKeon?
He's usually reliable, but of course, the ball came in too hot for him to catch, I guess. But it's because these wide receivers, bro, like. I think sometimes they don't be expecting to get the ball.
I don't think I think the same thing about him. I don't think he was expecting it because there's times where Cooks looks like he's just turning around and Dak's throwing and he's like, oh snap. Like it looks like a lot of times like they're not expecting
it's like y'all all need to be because it's like Dak is like, listen, I'm gonna target the hell out of CD, but y'all all need to be running your routes, be on your PCs because at any time I could get the ball to you because like that's the type of quarterback I am. Like I'm not gonna.
And I mentioned that to you, Star. About that's what Landlord said about these wide receivers. Shout out to Landlord from Alabama. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. He mentioned that like, if these wide receivers run the ball like they're getting the ball, it could change his offense even more.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like everybody needs to act. First of all, do the dirty work when we're doing our road routes and stuff, but also everybody, you need to be prepared, right? And you need to also lock in with your quarterback and be labbing it up even deeper with him so that you can look at concepts and be like, okay, this is what Dak will be seeing here. Yeah. So I'm gonna do this, right? So okay, this is this coverage. I know me and Dak, we love this route versus this coverage. Like, get locked in. That's what I'm saying. Like, and they are locked in because you can see the execution was high. You know what I'm saying? Execution. Even Michael Gallup caught all his ball. The execution was very high versus the Rams.
Right. Yeah. There was like you said, there was definitely like you said, he was in a rhythm. That's just his game, but from last week, like there was definitely a rhythm in that game, and not just with Dak, with the receiver. Like, it was almost like I'm not gonna say all the good plays, but it seemed like that momentum was going like from the touchdown to the block kick. You know what I'm saying? To Turpin's return.
Exactly. Back to back. Like by the second quarter, it's already a blowout. So actually, I think it was like at the end of the first quarter, the blowout. So it's like but that's the type of team that we are, right? They asked CD again, like, what is our identity on offense? And he said, we're explosive.
Yeah.
He's like, we are an explosive offense that I keep forgetting the other word he said, but explosive, and we make plays. Like that's what
I think he said physical too.
That's what he said. That's what I think. He said we're explosive and physical.
Yeah.
And then we know our defensive identity is what? Fast and physical. And I'm like, that's what the word that the true identity of this team period even from special teams, is aggressive. Like, we are an aggressive team.
Yes, Mike McCarthy mentioned that, I think, in his presser yesterday when they mentioned they were coming out throwing, and like, hey man, we're just being aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. He said if you want to call throwing, that was in the clip. So he said if you want to call throwing aggressive, then yeah, like we're aggressive now. Like, we're aggressive. Yeah. We have the playmakers. We're confident in our playmakers, and we are going to utilize them.
Yeah,
like exactly, we have playmakers on the perimeter. We have playmakers on the bench who can run the ball, but I mean, in our backfield that can run the ball, but also pretty much all of them, Deuce, Dowdle, and Tony and Lipke all have good hands.
Right.
We will be using them to our full strength. And so that's what I'm saying. We haven't even scratched the surface of players. We already talked about Dak doing veteran stuff, and then also Dak and his scrambling.
Yeah, him using his legs and even it don't have, like we mentioned earlier, it don't have to be every play, it don't have to be every drive. I think he only scrambled 3 to 4 times this past game, but they were effective on, I think, third down conversions. Like it's just
because now and this is what I'm saying, like, well, they keep asking him these questions about Dak using his legs now. He's using his legs now, guys. Dak using his legs is built into this offense. Right. That's why they keep saying play above the 2.3, because that's something that we didn't have last year, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's definitely new this year.
Right, this is new this year. So it's like, if the ball's not out of your hands in 2.3 seconds, you go, let's say, scramble drill activated.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That means Dak is going to either see, can I pick it up? Can I get out of the pocket and make a play? Like, that's what our offense is now. And they asked, or that's what's implemented into our offense. Now we're not calling quarterback draws and stuff like that, because but like the scramble drill is incorporated into this offense. And they asked Jerry Jones about it too. They're like, well, what do you think about Dak using his legs? Like, do you think it's effective? And Jerry's like, absolutely it is. And he's like, he's playing. He's like, every week Jerry keeps saying Dak's playing this was his Dak's best game. And next week, this is Dak's best game. This is Dak's best game because
the receivers getting career numbers. You know what I'm saying? They say
everybody is exactly. And they asked Jerry, do you see? Y'all said y'all want Dak here for the next 10 years. Do you see CeeDee Lamb here for the next 10 years? And Jerry was like, absolutely, I see CeeDee Lamb here for the next 10 years. And he was like, when he continues to do his job, then that opens up everything else for everybody else. So I was like, and I was listening. I said, that's exactly right, Jerry. That's exactly right. And see, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Jerry and Steven are technically, they're not football guys. They are corporate guys, right? But it's up to Mike and Dan Quinn to convince them of things.
Right.
It's your job as a coach to teach them. And I can tell Mike be teaching them by listen carefully to the stuff Jerry and Steven be saying. They was not saying before. It's like, see, Jerry and Steven be really talking ball, but I'm like, how y'all talking ball now?
Right.
Of Mike, bro, is because of Mike.
And they sitting and them actually sitting down to listen to what he has to say, because like you mentioned, and not just what they're talking about, but what they're doing. They were making these moves in previous years.
Exactly.
They gave Mike McCarthy full control. And so I just saw a comment earlier about Mike McCarthy, I think I forget who I seen it from, about Mike McCarthy not wanting to stand up to Jerry and not wanting to say what it is. But I think I'm not gonna say that you have to necessarily stand up or tell them what it's going to be, but you have to be able to know how to get your point across. Like
exactly. And Mike
passing him the reins, they're letting him do. They to give something.
Exactly.
But they're letting McCarthy, in essence, in their way, letting McCarthy.
This is the Mike McCarthy show. So they're letting Mike have full control. That's why I'm saying, Mike, you have the control, bro.
Yeah.
There's no one there's no one else calling plays, bro. It's just you.
Right.
So it's up to you to convince, if they're trying to say certain things and you're like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Have a talk with them about it. You don't that was Jason Garrett's problem. He just bowed down. He just bend over and take it. No. Right. And Jerry and them don't respect guys who just bend over and take it.
Right. They want you. That's why they do the things. They want to see how you gonna react. Why you like Jimmy Johnson so much?
Exactly. So it's up for the coaches. Speak
ourselves. Like they wasn't playing. You think Parcells was letting Jerry tell them who was playing and how much and who was
Jerry, and at the time when Jerry wouldn't let Parcells do his way, what Parcells left.
He was out.
Right. But it's like there's a certain way that you have to handle Jerry and Steven. You don't have to disrespect them you don't have to disrespect them. You can still stand up for yourself by not disrespecting them and by convincing them that your way is better. They are businessmen. So you have to teach them. You have to teach them. You have to show them, no, Jerry, this way is better. I understand what you're saying. I understand why you would want to not target CD, right? I get that because of for the contract numbers, but are you really serious this year about winning the Super Bowl? Well, yeah, Mike, I am. Okay, then explain to him why that's not a good idea. You don't just go along with it. You get what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And how Mike, even though clearly CeeDee Lamb got 14 targets, everybody else got 4. But Mike and Schottenheimer, we were great on ball distribution. We were great because we still distributing the ball, Jerry. Everybody gets the ball.
Right.
We just give him the ball a bit more. Because if we give him the ball more, Jerry, then it opens up everything else.
Exactly.
Okay, I guess that does make sense. You have to teach them. You can't just cower down and just say, the front office just making me target Michael Gallup all day long.
Right.
Anything. Like, if you do that, bro, I don't want you as my coach. Like, get off of this team, bro. Get off of this. That's why I said this year is on Mike. That's what I said. It's on Mike and Dan Quinn. It's on Mike and Dan Quinn.
Yeah. And to your point, Star, they're going to, like you said, just continue to adjust to what they're seeing in these games. Like we saw with the Rams. Like, we were still able to, like I said, with the Rams coming in, they were top 10. Like, I have listed the top 10 in red zone, 7th in yards per game. So like you said, for the secondary, for Jordan Lewis to be able to step up and hold them to under 100 yards, hold 2 receivers.
Under 100 yards.
He was 2 Cooper Kupps under 100 yards.
2 Cooper Kupps, bro. Like, that's not. This guy has been putting up over 100+ yards on everybody, bro.
Right.
Like,
he's looking at Rookie of the Year right now. Nakua is looking at Rookie of the Year right now.
That's what he's looking at right now. It's between him and CJ Stroud. So it's like, bro, like when y'all seeing this type of stuff, like this team is doing stuff. And I said, I'm like, listen, this defense is special, bro. But I can't call you historical, and I'm not giving y'all no names and nothing like that until we see what's the end result. Yeah. But you can clearly see, like, the stuff that this defense is doing is not stuff that other defenses is doing.
Right. I agree with you. And just before we move on real quick, Anthony in the chat, this is actually West Coast's page. He was just having technical difficulties, but shout out to West Coast. He's still actually streaming through his YouTube. So, thanks for joining the family. I'm saying he's actually going to be on our show next week, but thanks for being in the chat, fam. Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. So just we talked about the offense. I just kind of want to touch on the defense. You know what I'm saying? Because we just see the continued and we just see them continue to improve. We do still ask for a lot from this defense. You know what I'm saying? They were making mistakes before. We did see penalties, and that's one thing that we definitely saw go down this past game.
For sure.
I don't even think we saw a penalty to the fourth quarter, Star.
I don't remember them. I don't remember seeing a penalty at all. Like them penalties locked up.
Right.
One thing I've noticed, bro, like I think Turpin got a penalty. As soon as he got a penalty, they said.
I think it was Nashawn on Turpin's return because he finally.
No, but Turpin got a penalty too. He did get a penalty.
Oh, I think we had like a false start or something like that.
Yeah, he got a false start. Come on now. Like I do think that when the players get a penalty, besides obviously like if it's like your offensive tackle or something, like you can't tell them to come out now.
Yeah.
But when it's like the receivers and the tight ends, and your defensive ends doing bonehead stuff. Come on now.
You gotta,
We can't have that. Like,
not in those moments either. No.
Right. Like, if you keep doing dumb stuff, you're gonna get benched. Maybe not for the whole game, but temporarily. You're not in this. You're not gonna be.
That's what makes people, you know what I'm saying? And just to your point to what you just said, like they can't do it to these linemen and certain guys in positions. But sometimes I'm not gonna say you wish you could, but that may have that can have an effect. Like, hey, you realize you're gonna make a mistake. I'm sure we wouldn't have had half the penalties we had in some of these games if these players knew that there was a consequence behind it.
Exactly.
And that's why and we talked about before, like, are these guys even working on it in practice? Like,
Exactly.
if there's no consequences in game, maybe have a consequence in practice. You have these reps in practice. Why not use them while you have them? Because you know you're gonna have these reps who may not be on your side in these actual games. You know what I'm saying? So when you do kind of make, even if it's a slight mistake, you think you may not, they may, let it go to the win in practice, but that's going to be the one penalty that they catch in these actual games that you aren't paying attention to.
Exactly. So it's like you definitely, it's tighten up, bro. Like because penalties are just being undisciplined. Like that's why you're getting penalties.
Yeah, so pretty much.
Tighten up, focus in, and do your damn job. But then you look at stuff like we said.
Yeah. This defense is not allowing a wide receiver or running back over, like we just talked about with Nakua and Cooper Kupp, and not just them, but like we looked at with the Jets. Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook didn't reach 100 yards as far as rushing, and no other receiver we even faced has reached 100 yards in any of the games we faced them. So
exactly, like these other teams are winning, guys, but they're just not winning in the way that we're winning. Like look at the details of what we're doing. No wide receiver or running back has gone over 100 yards against us, right? Then you have Marquise Bell playing out of his mind. Now, I always say in reality, do I think Marquise Bell is a better linebacker than Fred Warner and Roquan Smith? No.
Right.
But he's playing at an extremely high level because he's figured out, hey, I am a little bit undersized, but the reason why I'm still killing it at linebacker is because I'm aggressive and I hit the hole and I get there faster than before those linemen can get their hands on me.
Mm-hmm.
And even Dan, it was either Dan Quinn, I think, that spoke about it. I think where he was like, when you see guys like Mozzie, Hank, and Osa doing a fantastic job because they are a lot of the reasons why Marquise Bell is getting these.
Yeah, I think it was Quinn. Cause I think Quinn mentioned Mozzie having that stop. I think in the third quarter.
Right, Mozzie had a stop, a tackle for loss, and then him and Hank and Osa holding up these maintaining their leverage and holding up double teams, which is allowing the linebackers to execute, to flow freely. And the thing is, they've been doing that all year. But you had LVE in, who on occasion he be hesitant Harry, and I think he was affecting Marquise Bell and Clark. But since he stepped out, Clark is now being the Mike linebacker. Then you have Marquise Bell being like your wheel linebacker. Yeah. And these guys are just flying downhill. Like we have elite top of the line speed when it comes to our linebackers.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to. And it's great that we brought in a talent like Evans, who's not afraid to step up and tackle. So we see that Bell's already not afraid to step up with 2.8 yards in tackle depth. That means he's coming from the line of scrimmage onto their side. You guys, I don't know if you guys realize that. He's in their backfield. He's in their backfield.
Like, and that's exactly the type of aggressiveness we need. I'm hoping that we do see Rashaan Evans more this game as well. Then you talk about Bland, who's literally right now, I mean, he's playing like the best cornerback in the league right now. I mean, he's number one in passer rating against him is like 20%. I mean, it's ridiculous what he's doing. 3 pick sixes. I mean,
I think what 5 total picks? I think 5 total picks.
Yeah, 5 picks, 3 picks. Like he's playing so many pass deflections, coverage grade top notch. Like he's playing like the best cornerback in the league. Thank you so much, Wayne. And I got the donation.
Thanks for coming through.
Thank you so much. You know, I appreciate you so much, Dwayne. I always shout you out whenever you donate. We already talked about the secondary, right? Stepping up huge. Like they had their hands full and they shut both of those guys down 64 yards.
Right.
Then you got special teams, Turpin having a day.
Yeah. And Williams finally showing, we know that he kind of expressed frustration. Even after a win, we kind of went in on him for kind of showing frustration even after a win. But it's good to see them finally be able to, and you kind of saw the expression on his face too. I think at the play, like he was just finally able to kind of get it out. To finally be like, I was able to contribute to the team. I was able to kind of just, we saw him kind of react too on Twitter, kind of quote tweet himself saying, "Hey man, you're getting there." So he's kind of being able to kind of reassure himself without having to, continue to show impatience, as far as towards
exactly.
Now he can kind of chill out. He can play every, like I said, it don't have to be every play, it don't have to be every drive, but you're contributing, so now you can feel like you're
still over there making an impact, and when you can see that, then that's what gets you more actual snaps.
Right.
When you see somebody like Turpin, who I feel like has finally learned, because Turpin's ball carrier vision last year, y'all remember in the playoff game we were so mad at him because it's like, Turpin, if you just had to hit the angle on the outside, bro, that's a touchdown. Like he was just doing some stuff, but it seemed like he's now getting his confidence and carrying that ball, and able to really see the field like he's supposed to, and making big plays for us.
I heard a mention on Girls Talk that him actually, and we kind of talked about it last year, but we wanted to see him have more wide receiver snaps to kind of get, so he can get more of a feel for the ball instead of sitting on the bench for 20 minutes and then going back in the game.
Right.
He goes cold again, but now he's getting more snaps.
He's getting those, exactly. He's getting
those. So it's kind of helping his vision when he is getting those
and big time. I mean, but he's showing up. This is what I'm talking about. People talking about, let's go get a wide receiver. Why would we get a wide receiver?
Right.
You don't need a wide receiver when you have Turpin and Tober showing up the way that they have. Like if they weren't showing up. And another thing I would have to say is I'm gonna apologize to front office, because I did have to realize that like all of our play, like we do draft and like I'm like, dang, we not drafted we don't draft and develop some players that makes me upset. Like we lost Jabril Cox, we lost Devin Harper, we lost who else? Like John Ridgway, right?
Yeah.
And you look at it, Marquise Bell, that's a second-year free agent. He's starting.
Yeah.
Damone Clark, second year, starting.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. You got Turpin.
Yeah, Bland.
Turpin, Bland. Like these are guys.
And Wanye actually came in with Bell.
Wanye, like look at all these guys that we have, guys. These are young guys that we literally have either drafted or got in as undrafted free agents and developed. So we do develop. Like we do develop. Now we don't develop everybody that I wish we would, but we definitely are getting a lot out of our young guys. And I feel like, that's another reason. When you have your youth like this playing so good, you don't want to take that away from them.
Right.
They're playing well. What do you need to bring in a veteran for? We as fans want that, because I said it on Law's page the other day. I said, listen, the Bucs started it. This pay, just load it all up with veterans, get a Super Bowl.
Right.
Then the Rams copied it. Then the Eagles tried it. Mm-hmm. And so now we're like, we need to do that. I'm like, no, we don't. We already do. We have gone out and gotten veterans. But you want most of your team young. And our team is very, very young.
Yeah, I think last year, and I'm sure this year too, but I think last year we were, like the 5th youngest or within the top 5 youngest.
Yeah, like we're young as hell on this team. Like Dak and D-Law and probably like Tyron and Zach are like the oldest people on this team. So we're very Mickey, you still there? Sorry, your connection looked like you kind of phasing out again.
Can you hear me still?
I can hear you, but it just looked kind of blurry, but I can hear you good. But either way, we're doing a lot of the front. I don't want to sit here and be trying to. I hate this. I hate because everybody else think you caping for front office, but
yeah,
we have a damn good team. Like we do, bro. Like we have a damn good team.
We got the personnel. I think just at this point, like I mentioned earlier, just kind of going off Mike McCarthy's words, we just kind of have to. I don't say practice patience, but you know what I'm saying, but we just haven't. There's really just a lot we haven't touched on with this team. That we have, personnel wise, play calling wise, there's a lot that we just haven't seen yet.
But it's like we're just getting started. We are definitely getting into mid-season form. And, I hope that we can continue to build, this is what I said. I just want to continue to build off of what we saw. Like, we can't go back. It seemed like we built from the Chargers game, and we got to just continue to build. We got to continue to build. We cannot go backwards. We got to go forward. And we got to trust these young guys, because these young guys are hungry. They're hungry. And what I love is that, like, we really do got the right guys. Like, I know that y'all hate when Stephen Jones say that stuff, But I really do think like we got the right guys. And when you say the right guys, not only the guys that can handle the lights, but the guys who they do everything right. They're hungry.
Right. Yeah,
they perform on the field.
Right. Sometimes it's hard when you bring in these young guys and even like some of them drafted guys and even young guys who you do draft. It's hard to see. You don't find out right away if they have that mindset for what you're trying to prepare them for. So that's really what the time is for. Yeah, we know these guys come in and have the physicality. That's what they're drafted for. But it really, like you said, draft and development. That development part is really the mentality. So if you get a guy who you get a year in, you know what I'm saying, you realize either he doesn't want to do the work, I'm saying, or he doesn't want to stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? So then when you find out that, okay, this guy may not have what we want, but then you're a year or two in, that's time you put into a player. You know what I'm saying? So that's you got to take that consideration with every guy that you bring in. What's going on?
Every guy that you bring in, right? Every guy that you bring in. What's up, Darren? How you doing? Every guy that you bring in can potentially be a progress stopper for somebody who is ready now and just needs the reps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just give them the reps, bro. Like, that's the point of being a draft team. We draft and we develop this talent. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to bring in some extra players from the outside, but most of our players are homegrown. And somebody did point out, I think I was watching Boss Cowboy, shout out to Boss and Coles.
Yeah.
Y'all know they're arguing with the Eagles this week.
Yeah. And, like back-to-back shows.
They pointed it out. I think it was Coles, and he was like, bro, like, y'all are not a homegrown team. Like, yeah, y'all have some players that y'all drafted and developed, but he was like, look at your top two corners. Darius Slay, ball. James Bradbury, ball. DeAndre Swift, ball. AJ Brown, ball. Like, y'all bought all y'all playmakers over there, bro. Like, most of them, you bought them.
Yeah, Hassan Reddick. I believe they got him from the Cardinals.
Hassan Reddick, ball. Them linebackers and safeties, ball. Like, y'all buy y'all's team, bro. Like, y'all don't really draft and develop. Like, that's
right.
That's y'all's way, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think our way is fine too, because our way just comes down to coaching, because we are a draft and develop team. Y'all are a team that's like, y'all just need a decent coach, but how we gonna buy? He gonna buy all the talent y'all can get.
Right.
I don't give a damn about developing. He's like, yeah, you can develop if you maybe, but
and then at that point, it's about building the chemistry with the team.
Exactly. Like, that's just not how we do things here. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. Like, to each his own. Everybody do things your own way, but everybody don't have to be the Eagles and the Rams and the 49ers. Like, everybody don't have to be them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And it worked. And out of all those teams that I named, it worked out for two of them. It worked out for the Rams. It worked out for the Bucks.
Right. And for 1 year only, because of the next year after that. And not even the next year. I mean, where those teams right now, they're still struggling to refine their
they're down. Like, the Bucks didn't even make it out of the divisional the year after their Super Bowl. And then you have the Eagles. I mean, y'all went all the way up to the Super Bowl. Congratulations, but you didn't win. And then the 49ers, y'all couldn't even make it to the Super Bowl. So, and that was with getting Christian McCaffrey. So,
and then in those following years, you have a situation where you're still
bad. It's bad. Like, you look at the Rams.
Yeah. Like, the Bucks too, because then those following years, you're going to end up dealing with those free agents who, I'm not no disrespectful, I'm not saying they can't get jobs, but they're the ones being bounced around the different teams who need that help. So then you're still dealing with not necessarily having that chemistry, because you're just having guys from left and right,
from all over the place, and it's like, that's good. Eagles, the linebackers that y'all got right now, bought. Like, everything y'all do is bought, bro.
Right.
Like, y'all don't homegrown anybody, but you can win growing your players. You know what I'm saying? You add in a couple of free agents, but that's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
no, I feel you. And this is gonna be the last time before we get out of here. Just want to talk about this O-line right quick. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of the problem. We're, like I said, we're steadily coming along, but just there's still kind of a lack of a consistency We know that we start out with some kind of start out with injuries early in the season. We're just kind of getting our guys back, and luckily and I really just want to kind of highlight Chuma just for a little bit. I know Chuma isn't our greatest lineman, but just what he's been able to come in and do for us. I talked a lot about him on Girls Talk, how he's been able to come in at the tackle position, the guard position, pretty much wherever he asks for him, and just being serviceable in whatever position he is in, and able to be able to carry us along the way.
Absolutely. I mean, Chuma has done a phenomenal job. He's had his ups and he's had his downs, but people thought he was going to be trash, right? Like, right. We got him, Chuma Doga, some journeyman, like everybody thought he was going to be terrible. But the kid's come in and he's played pretty well for us. You know what I'm saying? Is he all pro or Pro Bowl? No. But everybody on your line not going to be Pro Bowl or all pro or Pro Bowl. We just need you to do your job. You know what I'm saying? There are reps that he loses. We're not going to sit there and act like he's not, but let's not sit there and act like he was just – that got sacked 3 times on the first drive. Yeah. But after that, the offensive line was able to settle down. You know what I'm saying? And Chuma, he started a lot of games for us. And
right.
Dak hasn't been killed. You know what I'm saying? Now Dak,
he's been standing in there, standing tall. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So we're
and not just one position. Both those positions. He kind of had to get his. He was out. He dealt with an injury. Pretty much coming in.
He came back and still playing good. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I said, he's not perfect. He has given up pressures. He has given up sacks. But
I mean, we're on the line who hasn't. Honestly.
Right? Exactly. Like, let's be real here. And then you see when Austin had to come in, Austin did a good job.
Right.
Like, that's a 5th round pick rookie, bro. Like,
right.
There's nobody. I don't give a damn. There is just nobody colder than Will McClay, bro.
Yeah,
like,
for real though.
They just need to please give my bro Will McClay.
Like, for real though, yeah. Because like you said, just the amount of depth that we have, pretty much. I don't want to say at every position. Like you said, we're ready to call up almost any guy that we have on our depth chart. I'm not gonna say practice squad, but pretty much the 53 man right now. We can call up these guys to back up our starters,
and they can do it. They can do it. So it's like at this point, like, and I forgot we still got Matt Walesko in the weights, and like we haven't even seen him. Like,
they haven't even opened up his window yet.
They haven't even opened up his window. So.
Yeah, and Nate Sean, he's still coming along. Like, he's gonna have growing pains. He hasn't had that time, so we got to bring him back.
I had that growing pains, bro. But like, we have good depth, good young depth, where it's like depth. Yeah, I hear what I'm saying, depth. So a depth piece is a depth piece. Like, they're at a certain talent level, but we have good depth. So it's just like we came in as the deepest team.
Yeah.
And we're still the deepest team, bro. We are the deepest team through and through. Like,
yeah.
These other contenders, bro, they don't have the depth of us. That's why you see the 49ers falling apart when just 2 of their people is sitting there.
Right. And even
they're falling apart, bro. The Eagles O-line, they've been suffering because they've been getting pressured like crazy. You got people like, then they using Gainwell, he not that great, and Swift even slowed down. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, the Eagles starting O-line is better than our starting O-line, but is they depth better than our depth? No.
Right. Because they looked a whole lot different once Lane went out of there. Lane Johnson.
Whole, bro. Like, they've given up. Like, they said like 40 pressures over the past 2 weeks, which is the most in this NFL.
Wow.
They are struggling over there, bro. They're struggling over there. I don't give a damn. So it's just like, think everybody, all the contenders, they made a move because they had to make a move. We just didn't have to make a move.
That's they've seen because they've seen pretty much what their starters can do. You know what I'm saying? And they know that the depth guys they have aren't, like you said, they're not up to the level that our depth guys are on.
Exactly, just not up to the level. Like, that's just how it is. Like, we're not trying to be like a-holes or nothing like that, but it's just like
a lot of the depth guys are draft guys or undrafted. But the thing is, our young guys who we do have in depth, I think the leg up that they have is that game experience. Like I said, our young guys are able to get into these games early in the season, and not just preseason, but in the regular season.
Like, in the regular season, because we're sitting our starters, so now they're getting real live reps. Like,
right. So these young guys are able to get pretty much a leg up. So they're able to get their I don't want to say their playoff run, but they're able to get their experience. So when we do get that, when we get there, we have our starters and our young guys ready to go.
Correct. Period. Like, think of somebody like the Ravens, right? People, their power ranks is the number 2 team, right, under the Eagles. Okay. Right. But if Zay Flowers or Odell Beckham goes down, right. Let's see how Lamar looks.
They were struggling. Odell wasn't there.
Right. He's going to go back to all I have is Mark Andrews. Like, they don't have nobody in the way to help them. When their starting offensive lineman goes down, the line play goes down drastically.
Yeah, and they were having injuries, through their running back room. So they're not perfect over there with the Ravens. They're dealing with.
They're good. I'm not gonna say they're not good. Lamar Jackson he's playing lights out. Lamar Jackson, he done elevated his game. Yeah, he playing lights out. Like, congratulations to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same thing y'all do today. We'll see. Can he get his team further in playoffs?
Right.
Or is he just the in-season quarterback, like y'all say about my quarterback? So
right, exactly.
We'll see what he do, but it's like, congratulations. So look, I'm not hating. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and hate on people and their teams and their rosters.
Right.
But again, no team in the NFL is doing what we doing.
Right.
And it don't matter like how sucky the team is. Y'all say all these teams are ass. Okay, well, if they're ass, why didn't you blow them out 0-40?
Right. How can you
with all the weapons? Why didn't you blow them out?
Right.
Y'all can't blow out the Giants with Tyrod Taylor.
All right.
You can't do it. Like, if it's so easy, it's so easy. They trash. Okay. Yeah, everybody should be blowing them out. The Patriots so trash. Then why we the only team that blew them out?
How they beat the Bills then if they chose trash? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, all these other teams, y'all barely. The Eagles so good, but all the teams they beat have been just by 7 points. But
they came down to the final minutes, the final seconds.
We're blowing out. Like, we're blowing out these teams. So I'm just saying, like, it's just different levels to this. That's all I'm saying. Like, when this team actually, and what's crazy is that y'all have not even seen the full display of this offense.
Right.
That's what's also crazy. Like, how are you blowing out teams and y'all haven't even seen the full display of this offense? And I'm trying to tell you, Eagles, y'all may be able to get back to the championship, right? Y'all may even be able to get to the Super Bowl. But that terrible defense y'all got is going to catch up with y'all.
Yeah.
Because Mike McCarthy said it today. He said, listen, every time when they talk about my Super Bowl run, he said they always bring up the injuries, but what they don't bring out is that we had a top 5 defense.
Right.
If you want to win the Super Bowl, you got to have a top defense, bro.
Right. No, period.
So, period. Eagles, the reason why y'all keep having to fight to the nail because your defense is not good.
It's not, right.
When your quarterback is growing. He's gotten better. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Jalen Hurts, I forgot to say it, but Jalen Hurts, he's gotten better, bro. Like, his throwing motion, decisiveness, a lot of throws that I didn't know he could make. He's making them now, but he's still a one-read quarterback, and that's why he's throwing picks, bro. Like, I'm sorry.
And you see the Chiefs.
It's gonna catch up with y'all, bro. It's gonna catch up. And
right. You're right about that because the Chiefs, they wasn't having a great defense for a little bit. They can't stop teams from scoring. That's why, and they struggling right now.
The Chiefs is struggling bad, bro. They just got beat by Russell Wilson and the Broncos.
Right. Who they beat 16 times.
Patrick Mahomes looked terrible. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
So maybe this year the football guys are on our side. And they're killing those bullshit narratives that y'all keep trying to say about our quarterback, that no quarterback needs help, and that Mahomes should just be, y'all said that. So Mahomes should just be able to, he doesn't need talent, right? He just needs Kelsey. He had all his he doesn't need weapons. That's what y'all said. Now y'all trying to make excuses for him when he looks like, as LaShawn McCoy said, ass.
Yeah, and it's different now
He
that
doesn't need anything. He doesn't need an offensive line. He doesn't need this. He doesn't need that. Looking like he does. Because he's looking not good. And I said Mahomes was gonna have a down year this year. I said that.
Yeah, you're right about that because he's sick or not, like you only got 9 points up on the board.
No trades, bro. They didn't. Right. You know what they traded for? McCole Hardman, who didn't look good versus the Broncos. So that's what Patty's gonna have for the rest of the year. That's it. There's nobody to come in and save him.
Tony, who was dropping mad passes in the beginning of the season. Those are his two.
Y'all know what? Patrick Mahomes, he's the best quarterback. I heard somebody say the other day, he's the best quarterback in NFL history. Okay, well, if he's the best quarterback in NFL history, then he should be able to will his team to a victory.
Right.
And will his team to another AFC championship and will his team to another Super Bowl.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Because I get tired of there's only about one quarterback that can just carry a whole team consistently. Okay, let's see. This is Mahomes' year. Mahomes, this is your year to prove it.
Yeah, man, let's do it again. Because
you had help last year. They were Tyreek Hill.
I was just gonna say, yep.
3 proven wide receiver 2s.
Mm-hmm.
You had help last year. You had Eric Bieniemy last year. You don't have him this year. You don't have the same weapons. Do it this year, Mahomes. That's what they said. They said you're the best quarterback in football history. There's no one who can even be mentioned in the same name this year. Mm-hmm. That's what they said. So if that's the truth, then let's see it, Mahomes. Let's see Mahomes get back to the Super Bowl this year with that.
Yeah, especially with a lot of those AFC contenders coming up because a lot of them are trying to go for that top spot. They're not sleeping this year because they see, just like we see the NFC is wide open, they see the same thing. They see them hold the Chiefs is starting to show. Really from week 1. So them AFC teams ain't sleeping over there.
No, they're not sleeping. So we'll see. Like, I don't even, to be quite honest, like I don't even think the Chiefs about to beat the Dolphins this week.
Right.
I don't think they
especially have to come off a loss like that. Like
they could, but I don't even see the Chiefs beating the Dolphins unless maybe Taylor Swift flies out. And
that's a stat now.
I don't see them beating the Eagles. They can prove me wrong though. Prove me wrong. I mean, I would love for them to beat the Eagles. I would love for them to beat the Eagles, but I don't see it, bro.
Right. Only way I for sure see is if they playing in KC, but they playing in Philly. It'll be. That was definitely they can give them a run.
It's gonna be scary hours. So I'm just saying, like, this is why y'all shouldn't be propping it that's what I'm saying. The football guys is proving it this year. Like all the stuff y'all was saying about my quarterback, it's getting thrown right back in y'all's face.
Right. The narrative, like you said, the narrative that was put on him even last year, the interceptions, and now
turnover machine. But now all y'all favorite quarterbacks got more turnovers than him.
Right. That's crazy.
Dak is the best quarterback against pressure. Dak is the best quarterback with on-target throws. That means my quarterback is the most accurate in the league right now.
Right.
Thank you. So whatever y'all want to say, keep talking. Dak said, "Pour honey on me. We not scared. See, I'm ready for Philly. I'm not scared at all about Philly. Like I'm ready for it. Line them up. Win, lose, or draw, line Philly up.
Yeah, like D also, hey, line up, you get effed up.
Exactly.
Let's go. Like he's like,
get effed up. Like I'm tired of it. I'm about to take the same persona of my team. Like we don't care.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking. We don't care anymore. Like keep saying it. Keep moving the goalposts. You're just getting exposed week after week.
Right.
Y'all exposing, the media is exposing their own selves.
Yeah.
So it's like keep exposing your own self. And it's like now, ever since Micah called it out, now when we make tweets and stuff, now these main big NFL, they taking their tweets and they putting it on blast. So keep doing it.
Yeah.
You see, they scared now. The media is scared now to talk unbiased. Now they making jokes about it.
Yeah, because they know somebody was something now. Nobody was checking them before.
Yeah, y'all check now.
Yeah.
Not saying that crazy stuff about our quarterback. Like we tired of it.
Right.
Crazy stuff about our team, period. Like
the team is done. Like you see the team, the coaches, they're like,
they asked Curse today, what do you think? He said, listen, we done talking at this
Right.
point. We ain't got nothing to say about the
Right.
Eagles. Like they cool, they good. Yep, Hurts
Right.
is good.
They
Yeah,
was ready to play. I mean, they was even saying last week, like Michael Carter was saying, the locker room was full. They got there early. Like they was ready. Like the players were ready to get back to work this past week. Like,
exactly. They're like back to work. Like we don't care no more. Like we don't care anymore. Like instead of crying about the media, it's just like whatever.
Hold on real quick. Hold on 1 second, Star. Just real quick. We got Weston coming in. Just real quick.
Let's see. What it do, ladies? It's your boy West Coast. Hey, man, listen to me. Listen to me. So this is what happened. So I wasn't able to get on the show, right? And I forgot to disconnect my pages, right? So you guys are going live on my page, West Coast Cowboy, on my YouTube, man. And I'm going to tell y'all this right now. The reports are in. Y'all killing it. You guys, you ladies are killing it, man. And I'm going to actually ask that from now on, you know, when you guys do your show, if you don't mind, I will forever keep my page connected, and you guys can definitely preach to my audience, because obviously they think y'all look better than me, and a few of them think it's just the way they say it, West Coast. I know they say some of the stuff you say, but it's just the way they say it, West Coast.
Wait, because first of all, we gotta acknowledge and welcome West Coast. This, if y'all don't know, this is the guy who brought me and Star together. First of all,
yeah, he sure is. Your brother West Coast definitely brought me and Mickey together. So yeah, y'all have him to thank for StarChasers Girls Talk Ball, because he definitely prepared us together, told us get to it. He believed in us, and you know.
Yeah, here we are, episode number, lucky number 13, because literally 13 my lucky number. So West Coast, for you to be able to join in on us for real, like we really.
Yeah, I mean, listen to me. As long as listen to me, I jump on whenever and however how long. But I mean, shoot, let's talk. Hey, while I got service right now, shoot, let's talk. Hey, throw a question out there. Let's get some content on, man. You feel me?
Well, before we get out of here, we can touch on the Eagles right quick. You know, and what's your thoughts on the Eagle game?
My thoughts on the Eagle game is this. Offensively, my man, listen, I'm going to say it. My quarterback wanted the ball, man. I'm going to tell you, I do believe that the Eagles are a good team. I know people get all mad when I say good things about good teams, but guess what? It's all good. I need to be able to do that. So when I say stuff that's wild and crazy, like don't sign Michael Gallup or Tony Pollard ain't no real running back, you guys will actually believe me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell my kids, man, you just got to tell the truth at all the times. You know what I'm saying? There is a delta, a small delta between the Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles as a team. But I also believe that Dakota Let It Rain feels that delta, and he's felt that delta for us since, you know, the young man is 8-3, I think, versus these Eagles. You know, and I say like this: if we're gonna stay on the quarterback, you know, Jalen Hurts he's playing NFL standards, he's playing good football. If he was a Dallas Cowboy quarterback, he wouldn't be playing good football. Why? Because we care more about turnovers than we do touchdowns. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles, their fan base, they don't care about that. Like, this dude leads, like, think about this.
They giving him credit.
Go ahead.
I was saying they're giving him credit. Like, they're saying, well, he got the picks, but he winning his games. So they don't matter all of a sudden.
Exactly. But you know what? I'm going to tell you. We also got to blame the Cowboy fans for that too, because Cowboy fans, we're the ones who are over hypersensitive about interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real, bro. Like, didn't nobody give a damn about Tony Romo throwing interceptions until he wasn't playing no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody cared, bro. Nobody really cared. And to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you how many interceptions Patrick Mahomes has or any of these guys have, because at the end of the day, this is a passing league. In a passing league, the fruit of passing the ball is a lot of interceptions and what? Incompletes. They both start with I's. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, you know, at the end of the day, we as fans need to allow Dak. I'm not saying, bro, you can just go out there and, you know, slinging around like a 16-year-old youth at a prom. No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is this, bro, Dak Prescott, you should not have a thought in your head of chung that mug deep. And that's the thought. That's my process on you know, with the interceptions and everything, bro. If you're gonna want your quarterback to the field, knowing you're throwing up against to make $15 and $20 million a year, bro, you're gonna lose some balls. That's just what it is. The same year Babe Ruth set the major league the major league home run record was the same year he also led Major League Baseball in strikeouts. Like, bro, you can't get the yin without the yang. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's facts,
Then
West Coast. That's facts, West Coast. Amen. Look, this is the preview. Like I said, he's gonna be back next week with us on our show. Hope you guys come back to join the fire ass show for y'all.
Yeah, guys, like Mickey said, like, we glad to have Big Brother West Coast on with us. We definitely gonna have him on here again with us next week so we can delve deeper into this content. We appreciate everybody being in the chat with us, especially those who came to us through West Coast page. We really appreciate you guys for rocking with us. We appreciate everybody who was in our chat. Please like the video before we let out of here on all of our channels. Please subscribe. If you feel so kindly, donate to our Cash Apps, which is right there on the screen. And I think, we're going to close it out, and then we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, and appreciate you coming through, West Coast. We really do appreciate you, man. We can't wait to get on with you next week, man.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all ladies.
Okay,
right,
see you.
Y'all have a good night.